Alright, so, yeah, so, back with another video, yeah. So let's make an RPG. So, obviously you can use a different mesh, but, wait, what? I'm gonna use a cylinder, so like this, for my rocket launcher, because of course that's what we're making. Um, I'm gonna call it, I'm actually gonna make a tool in workspace. Call this RPG. That's where we're gonna put our part. And of course, this is going to be a handle. Oops, that's not how you spell handle. So, now that we have our handle in our RPG, if we play it. Yikes. Okay, so basically, I didn't anchor the base plate, which is a stupid idea, for obvious reasons, but let's try this again. So now we can pick up the RPG. But it doesn't really look like a way you'd hold an RPG. I mean, obviously this doesn't look like an RPG either, but this is not how you'd hold an RPG. So let's fix that. So what we're going to do is, you don't need to do this, but I'm going to add a mesh rig. It's kind of a reference for what it would look like in someone's hand. And we're going to put the RPG inside the dummy, like so. So it's like in here. Now, we are going to mess with this stuff. We're going to mess with the grips till we can get this to be the way we want it. So if we make this negative, oof, nothing happens. I don't know exactly what all this stuff does. I know it changes the grip and everything, but wait, what? Oh, I'm an idiot. So that's more like we'd want it like that in the hand. So now, as you can see, we've changed the grip forward to, instead of what it was before, 100. Did we actually change anything? Yeah. So it was 001, and we changed it to 100, and it puts it up like this. So now if we remove this from the dummy, and we now hold this RPG, you can now see that it looks more like the way you'd hold an RPG. So now to the scripting, or making of this actual RPG. So, there's a couple things we want. We want, obviously, a rocket that's going to shoot out of this RPG. So, let's add one. So, I'm going to use a sphere. You guys can use whatever you want, but I'm using a sphere. No, I don't want it that tiny. So, like that. Now, we're going to color it whatever color you want. I'm just going to keep it the same color. Maybe make it smooth plastic. And set it on fire by adding fire as a child of it. And we're going to change the heat to 0. So it kind of stays around the part. We're going to call this part rocket in the properties of the part. And then we are going to add a body velocity, I think it is, to this. Yeah. So now if we play here, or just run it, it should just like move. Yeah. So gravity doesn't really affect it anymore. It just really moves. And since the velocity is 2 on the y-axis, it's going to move up 2. So if we change this to like 2 on the x-axis, you will see it'll slide on the x-axis. So like this. As you can see, gravity or like physics do affect it, but it's not really the gravity. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make it so that this velocity is changed based on where the player's mouse is when he's holding it. And then, when the player clicks, it'll spawn one of these, and it'll fire forward, depending on where the player's mouse is. So we're going to set this velocity as 0, 0, 0, and we're going to leave this alone for now. Now we're going to add a script. Actually, wait. I'll do the script first. So we're going to add script. I'm going to call this fire. Actually, we'll just call it script. Doesn't really matter. Now we are going to. Oh, we're going to use local scripts and scripts for this, and a remote event. I will make a tutorial on remote events too. So, and I'm going to call this fire. So now we have a remote event called fire, a local script, and a script. Let's do the local script first. So let's make a variable called player and set that equal to game.players.localPlayer. Next, let's make a variable called mouse. So local mouse equals player get mouse. Now let's detect the mouse click. So mouse dot. I actually forgot what it was. So just hit up the wiki really quick. Alright, cool. So mouse dot button one click connect function. So we're connecting a function to this event. So mouse dot button one click is when the player clicks down their mouse, and when the player clicks down their mouse, we want to connect a function to that. And inside this function, we are going to write. Let's see, what do we want to happen when the mouse clicks? We want to do script.parent.fire fire server. But we want to put some information in there, like mouse.hit just mouse.hit. So that's going to send a C frame that's going to fire this remote event. But right away, that's not going to do much. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go into this script, and we're going to have to say what we want to happen when we receive that message. So we're going to write script.parent.fire.onServerEvent connect function and now we're going to write local rec, which is sort for received, equals curly brackets and ... So we're going to receive a table of stuff from the local script. Now by default, when you fire server from the client, you will the first value in this will be the client that fired it. So if I do local player equals res1, this will give us the player that fired. And even though you see I haven't added it in here, it will still be in there by default. So the information that we sent, which is the mouse.hit, which is the C frame that the player clicked at with his mouse, will be the second value. So local mouse hit equals res2. Now, what we want to do is we want to spawn a new rocket and send it flying forward at this mouse hit. So local new rocket equals, actually before we do this, what we should do is we should make a variable called rocket and set that equal to script.parent wait for child rocket. The reason we're waiting for child is we're waiting for the rocket to load. So if the rocket's not there when we try to get it, it'll throw an error. So we're going to wait for it. Then what we want to do is you want to put it somewhere so that's not inside the RPG at all times. So we're going to do rocket.parent equals game dot replicated storage. So we're going to just put it in replicated storage. Now down here we can do, actually before we do that, let's check and see if this works. As you can see, the RPG, the rocket inside RPG, the rocket inside the RPG has disappeared, and it hasn't really disappeared. It's just gone right here into replicated storage where we have sent it. I have a bunch of garbage in here that I'm going to delete because I don't, that's from old stuff. But now what we are going to do is wait, what we're going to do is we're going to make a new rocket. So local new rocket equals rocket clone. So we're going to clone the rocket. Then we're going to set the parent of the rocket. Oops. We're going to set the parent of the rocket to the workspace, because we don't want to just put it right back where it was before, because that would make no sense. Now with the new rocket clone. One second. So what we're going to do is we are going to set the velocity, which is under this rocket, which we've added, to, oh, we also need a speed variable. So local speed equals, we'll set it to 5 for now. New rocket dot velocity dot, wait, dot velocity. Actually, we have to rename it, because by default rocket parts have a property called velocity, so it'll think we're trying to reference that instead of this. So I'm going to rename this to vel. And now instead of new rocket dot velocity, we're going to write new rocket dot vel dot velocity. And we're going to set that equal to a we're going to set that to vector3 dot new mouse hit dot look vector times speed. And now if I just publish this, it's always a good idea to publish when you made changes so you don't lose your progress, or save it. So now that I have this, we should see that a new rocket has spawned, and that it is when I click the mouse. So as you can see, it doesn't work. It says button 1 click is not a valid member of player mouse. So we have an oof in here. So mouse.button1 down, I believe it is. Or I'm just a dummy boy. Yes. So as you can see, this spawns, but not where we want it to. If I walk away, it'll just spawn and spawn and spawn in the center of the map, which is not what we want. We want it to spawn where we want, going in the direction that we want it to go. So we are going to want to say new rocket, I don't know why I keep autocorrecting to that, new rocket dot position equals script.parent dot handle dot position, and that will put it directly on our rocket. It's like right there, but it's not moving. Let's see why. Our velocity is still 0. As you can see, they just sit there. So let's see why it isn't working. So new rocket dot vel dot velocity, which would be this value right here, equals vector3 dot new mouse hit dot look vector times speed. Let's check what mouse hit is. So let's print mouse hit, doing a little debugging here to see what the problem is. This is the mouse hit. So if we print mouse hit dot look vector, which is the value we want, so we know that mouse hit is actually valid. Let's check what mouse hit.look vector is, and we know that's also valid. Now, let's check mouse hit.look vector times speed. That is also good. So instead, we're going to try taking away vector3.new and just leaving this. As you can see, this works. It shoots off in the direction of our mouse. Now this is a little slow for a rocket launcher. Usually it goes a little bit faster. So let's change the speed to about maybe 15. And we should see that the rocket flies a little faster. And it does. But we have one problem. Rockets don't just fly through the air and just do this. They don't just bump into the ground and keep on rolling. They explode. So we're going to want to make the rocket explode when it touches something. So we're going to use an event called touched, to detect if the rocket touches something, like the ground or another player. So new rocket dot touched connect function hit, and that's going to be the object that touches it right here. Now we're going to detect if the hit is not the handle or another rocket. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to write if hit is not equal to if hit, oh I forgot this is Lua, is not equal to script.parent dot handle, and hit is not equal to hit.name is not equal to rocket, then so if what it touches is not the handle and its name is not rocket, so it can't hit another rocket, then we want it to explode. So local explosion equals instance.new explosion, comma workspace. Now we want to write explosion.position equals new rocket.position. So we're putting the explosion on the rocket. As you can see, we fired it and it has exploded in our hands. So what we were going to do is we're also going to detect if hit is not equal to if hit.parent is not equal to player.character, then because we already have a variable called player right here sent by this local script. We could get it the other way. We could get it another way, but this way we already have it. So let's fire it again. So now it should explode on contact with anything but our player or the rocket. But as you can see, it just keeps on exploding. If I fire these things, they just keep on exploding and they never stop. And anyone who's playing your game, if they're running off a low-end PC, it'll catch fire and it'll explode and they will die. So what you have to do is you have to destroy the rocket. So new rocket, destroy the new rocket, and save the low-end PCs. Now, if we fire and we run, it shall explode on the ground. And we can do that. Now, you can whatever you'd like to this. You can change the speed of the rocket. You can change your model for the rocket. You can change your model for the bullet. You could add a particle effect to the bullet. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to add sounds and an animation for a firing. So, first things first, we're going to add sounds. So let's go to the handy toolbox and look for a nice explosion sound. So we're going to get a nice explosion sound from the toolbox. This one sounds nice. We're going to put this in the rocket. And all we have to do is click play on remove. That means when it's removed, it will play. So if it's under the bullet and the bullet's destroyed, it will play. Let's test this out. As you can see, we now have sound effects in the game. Now what you could also do is change the volume of it. You can add a distortion sound effect. You can make the sound break your eardrums. Like so. It's a bit louder. Let's play this in studio. So as you can see, it's pretty loud. I think we should get rid of the distortion sound effect. That is pretty good, bro. And now we're going to add a firing sound effect, like when the rocket is traveling through the air. So we're going to look up rocket launcher to see if we can find any of those good sound.
Rocket!
Alright, let's look up rocket launcher in the toolbox and see if we can take any sounds from there. Here we go. The Roblox classic rocket launcher. Let's look for a sound in here. So in the script we have the boom and the swoosh. We're going to take the swoosh and we're going to delete the rocket launcher. So the only thing we took was a sound effect, because we don't copy free models, because we're not bad, because we know how to make stuff. And now close this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say, when the bullet's traveling through the air, play this nice little swoosh sound. So the way we do that, and it should work. Never mind. If we need to turn on looped. Oh, that's already on. In our script, we are going to write new rocket dot swoosh :play. So it will play while the bullet is traveling through the air, like this. And there it goes. And you can spam it. With some nice rockets going up. Now there's a problem with this. If I shoot it up into the air, it'll keep going forever. So I have to make sure it deletes at some point if it's not hit. So we are going to, after this, boop, we're going to do wait, I don't know, 5 seconds. Yeah, 5 seconds. And we are going to grab this code and paste it. Except unindent this. And now if we play the game, should see that after 10 seconds of doing nothing, it just blows up like that. Also, we should see that if I hit something with it, it blows up. So the bullets can no longer travel on for infinity. Boom. That's cool. But we don't have animation yet, and that's not cool. So what we want to do is we want to put this RPG back into the dummy. Leave the bullet because nobody cares about the bullet. And then we're going to open our animation editor. I'm going to create an animation for this rig. And then, oops, wait. That's a fast camera. We're going to yeet this up. We're going to lock everything else except this, because this is the only one we're using. So, like, the left arms, the left legs. Oh, and by the way, locking them just means that other animations can play while this one is playing. So say I'm playing an animation with only the right arm, well, the default animations for Roblox can still play on the rest of the body parts. So at this time, 0, 0, the rocket launcher will be here. If I go here, about there, and lift my rocket launcher up, then go here, and put my rocket launcher back down, you should see we have a clean animation. That's obviously not what a rocket launcher looks in real life when you shoot, but hey, this is Roblox and nobody really cares about realism. So, it's a little bit nicer, but I still think it should fade out at the end. So this one should be a little bit farther back. And now we're going to shorten the time to 0.5. Actually, no. We're going to shorten the animation length to 0.5. So now we have an animation that's just that. We are going to export it as one of my animations. So, rocket launcher suit finish. We're going to grab this link, whatever your link is. You're going to hit OK. And now with that new link, with that link you have, actually we can remove the rocket launcher from here now. And now we can go into this rocket launcher. We can add an animation and call it shoot. And then we can add this link as the animation ID. It should shorten it for us. And now if we want to play this animation on the player who shoots it, we can do mouse up button 1 down, connect function. And we can do, actually wait, before we do that, actually let's load the animation in here. Silico anim track equals script.parent.shoot : no player.character.humanoid : load animation script.parent.shoot. There we go. So now with this anim track we can play it. So we also have to set the priority of it so it doesn't so the Roblox default animations don't override it. So track.priority equals enum.animation priority dot I don't know, action, and then we'll do anim track : play yeet. It should play when we fire it. Let's shoot it. As you can see, it did work. We were playing the animation. very well. And that's going to be about it. That's how you make your pretty lit rocket launcher. And of course you can, this is just my rocket launcher, you can tweak around, you can tweak with it. You can tweak it, sorry, make like, look better. So that's pretty much it. And you can make it go like really fast, like if I go speed like 50. Like, check this out. It's gonna go real fast. So that's pretty much it. Yep. Thanks for watching, boys. Have a good day, boys. And Dummy hopes to get killed by your rocket launcher, so make sure to fulfill his dreams. Yeet.